All right, here's our writing lesson for 3.1. We are finally going to start a new unit. The last unit we did was writing about a place you want to visit. It was a descriptive essay. We were writing and describing the place we want to visit and why. You guys did a really good job with that. Good job, my onliners. I know I didn't make an assignment on Google Classroom where you had to submit it on there. I actually wanted you guys to send your final draft to my email. It is a test grade. So make sure you finish that up. I need it I'll give you till Friday, okay? To write your final draft of that paper and send it to me, to my email. That's how you're going to turn it in. Now we're going to move on, finally, to our next writing lesson. We are writing a persuasive text this time. So as you can see on the board, I wrote persuasive text. A persuasive text is a story where you are trying to convince somebody to think something or to do something. So persuade is another word for convince. How many of you guys have persuaded somebody to do something or think something before? Raise your hand. Good job. Very good. So it's okay to have different opinions, but we must be respectful as we share our thoughts and ideas. So we have something called a fact and something called an opinion. Who can tell me what is a fact? Dominic, what's a fact? Okay, but is it true 100% or is it not? Good. A fact is something that is true 100%. You can prove it. Right? It's written in a science book, in a textbook. It has a number in it. You can prove it. I don't care where it's written, but you can prove it, right? What is an opinion, Haney? Leah? Very good. An opinion is something that you think. Something, my opinion is the prettiest color in the world is black. That's my opinion. No, that's not really. My favorite color is pink, but that's my opinion. I think pink is the prettiest color in the world, okay? That's my opinion. Can I prove it? No, not really. I can only say that it is, but I can't. There's no numbers or anything or a paper or something that says that. It's just my opinion. My opinion is that today it's cold outside. Now, could that be true? Could it not be true? Yes, it can not be true. Marina may think it's hot outside, and that's okay. That's her opinion. My opinion is that it's cold. Everybody has their own opinions. My opinion is I hate pizza. Ugh. Your opinion may be I love pizza. Does that make me wrong? No. Does that make you wrong? No, but that's just my opinion. Okay? No one's wrong. That's just your opinion. So we have something called a fact that you can prove. An opinion is what you think, right? Okay. So you guys got my onliners. I sent you this paper that says Word Bank. In class, we're just going to do this in our writing notebook. You guys have the option. You want to do it on the paper, do it. If you want to do it in your writing notebook, do it. It's page 3.1 on the bottom. At the top, it says Word Bank. Okay, so we're going to work on using this paper today. Before we do that, let's see. And it's okay to have different opinions, but we must be respectful as we share our opinions. Are you going to say, ew, Miss Yusuf, you don't like pizza? You're so weird. Is that nice?
No.
No, that's not being very respectful. One day, my friend and I had a disagreement. My friend wanted to play with dolls, but I wanted to play tag. My friend got angry and started to cry. I felt terrible. We wanted to work out our differences. We decided to play tag outside first. Then we would have a snack and play with the dolls. Did we reach a solution? Yes. And was my opinion going to run and my friend's opinion is going to be thrown out the door? No, we found out a way to compromise. Remember we learned that word last week, compromise? What does compromise mean? Leah? To what? Try to agree with each other or meet in the middle, right? So maybe, hey, we'll do a little bit of what you like, we'll do a little bit what I like, and then we can compromise, we can meet in the middle. So it's not going to be my way or the highway, right? We're going to try to meet in the middle. All right. Let's see. Let's look at Anchor Chart, resources, research and resources. Where are you? There you are. So, research and sources. How can we find facts? Primary sources tell about something from different experience. So there's something called a primary source and there's something called a secondary source. A primary source tells about something from that experience. A secondary source gives information from a primary source. So for example, a primary source could be something like an interview. An interview is like if I sit with you one-on-one and you're asking me questions and I'm writing notes. That's called an interview. Journals, letters, personal stories. That's a primary source. A secondary source are like nonfiction books, biographies, historical books, textbooks, reference books. That's a secondary source. Whenever we research or write our sources, we avoid plagiarism. Everybody say plagiarism. Plagiarism is when you copy someone else's ideas word for word and say it's your own. That's called plagiarism. Plagiarism is another word for cheating. So you cannot, even if you don't mean to cheat, you're just writing down the fact, you have to write the source of where you got the fact from. So if you're writing a story about how tigers are meat eaters, and you need to prove that tigers are meat eaters, and you found it in this nonfiction book about tigers called Predators, that they eat meat, and you want to write down the fact so the people that are reading believe what you say, you need to write that these words that you copied down are not mine. So you can copy down those words, but when you're done, you have to source it. You have to say that these words are not my words. They came from this book written by this author. Okay? So if you don't, then it's going to be called plagiarism. And plagiarism is another word for cheated, right? So avoid plagiarism by using your own words. Put quotation marks around the text you copy. So if you're copying a text, put quotation marks around it. Everyone show me your quotation marks. Very good. And then source it. So, or cite your sources. So let's look here. He's writing a story about frogs and their habitat. He's going to write, he took this part of this story out of this book. So he has to write it in quotation marks. It says a group of frogs is called an army. This is a fact. He's sourcing it from this book, right? So he wrote quotation marks around it, and then later he wrote cite sources, and then he wrote Doring Ian. Who's Ian Doring? The author. Good job, Rena. He's the author of Frogs and Their Habitat. So he cited the author, and then he wrote the title of the story, Frogs and Their Habitat, underlined it, and then he wrote what year that book was written. It was written in 2016. So, Miss Yusuf, on the book it says Ian Doring. It doesn't say Doring Ian. How come when he cited it they said Doring Ian? How come they wrote his last name first and then his first name? When you cite, you write your last name first, then the first name. You don't write Ian Doring. You write Doring Ian, period, and then Frogs and Their Habitat. That's the title of the story. And then you have to underline the title of the story. See how they underlined it in red? You have to underline it, and then he wrote a period, and then he wrote the date it was written, and then a period. This is called citing your source. Okay? All right. Wow, that was a lot. Okay, I believe that this fall we had the most rain in 10 years. That is my opinion. So that you can agree or disagree, and you know that's an opinion because it says I believe. I believe is an example of that's an opinion, right? One way to get others to understand my opinion is to provide facts based on research. I can use primary or secondary sources to gather my facts. Primary sources ask what primary sources can I use to find facts about weather. So if I'm looking for facts about weather, should I use primary sources or secondary sources? Primary sources. So if I'm looking for facts about the weather this week, I look at interviews, journals, letters, the news. I don't look at nonfiction books to find out what the weather is going to be like. The book doesn't know what the weather is going to be like on November 12th, 2020. How does the book know that? Right? But an interview or a journal or a letter, that's a primary source. It'll tell me about the weather. Okay. So I can use this or this to explain my opinion. And the secondary source I can use is like a newspaper. So let's read the focus statement and talk about the point of view. All right? And then we're going to write notes in our notebooks about why we think it is important to explain our point of view. So here's our focus statement. My onliners, I gave you guys this. You're not supposed to really do anything with it, but I wanted you to hang it up in your learning space, or I want you to keep it somewhere, and maybe in your writing folder if you have one, so you know that this is our new lesson. See how it says Persuasive Text 3.1? It aligns with the lesson, so this is for you. And really, this is for the teacher, but parents, since you're helping your kids learn at home, you're probably going to need this. So the focus statement, when you don't see eye to eye with someone, it helps you explain your point of view. My class, I have this on here, obviously, on the computer, and I also always have this hung up over here on this wall. Okay, so we always know what our focus statement is. So when you don't see eye to eye with someone, it helps to explain your point of view. Eye to eye, what does that mean? If I don't see eye to eye with Rena, does that mean I'm not looking in her eyeballs? No. What does that mean, Brenaya? When I'm not looking, when me and you don't see eye to eye on something, what does that mean? Good. We don't have the same opinion. We both don't agree on something, right? Very good. All right. So our persuasive, we're going to read the following sentence. It is important to explain your point of view on an issue. Think about an issue you have heard people disagree on. What's something we've heard people disagree on? Anybody. There's a lot of stuff a lot of people are disagreeing on. Let's see. Amariah. Okay, people can disagree on books. What do you mean? Like fighting over a book? That's more of fighting. I'm saying like a subject somebody disagrees on. Like, for example, my favorite food is pizza, your favorite food is not pizza, or the opposite. Me and that person don't see eye to eye. What do you think, Brenaya? Very good. If somebody likes cats and the other doesn't like dogs. Rena? Good. When two people want to do different things. Another person wants to play on the playground. The other wants to play tag. All right. So what we're going to do now in our writing notebooks, we're going to write words that describe emotions, okay? And then we're going to use these words when we draft our persuasive essay. So what are words that describe your emotions? Rena? Haney? Huh? Bad? Mad. Okay, very good. Mad describes your emotions. All right, so we're talking about words that describe our emotions. So we said mad, so we can write mad in our notebook if you'd like. And then we said excited, right? Is that what we said? Yeah. Excited. And if you want to write angry, that's kind of the same as mad. You can write mad/angry if you want. Okay, now what's another emotion? Ramsey? Huh? So what's another word for crying? Dustin? Sad. Okay, so we said mad, angry, sad. Rena, what's another one? Happy. Okay, what's another one? Haney. What's another one word for funny? Amaria? Huh? I'm sorry? Silly. Good job. Silly. Yeah, but it's a way that you can feel. Don't you feel silly sometimes? Okay. Anyone else? JC? Rena? Okay, when I call on you, you should have something. You're not sitting there thinking. Destin? Scared. Okay. Bernaya? Bored. Amaria? Okay. Scared, bored, nice. How about energetic? Ooh, that's a good one. That means you have a lot of energy. Energetic.
Wait, do we have to write these? Yes.
Yes. Energetic. I don't know why I wrote it in there. It's not energetic, it's energetic. Okay. Anyone else, JC? Hyper. That's a good one. Hyper. Hyper. Very good. Those are all very good words. Good job. If you want to add some more words, you can. If you want to just stay with these, that's also okay. Okay, so we talked about the research and sources. Okay, so we are going to read Mr. Tiger Goes Wild. We're not going to start reading that today. We are going to start reading that tomorrow, but this is going to be our focal text for persuasive writing. So join us tomorrow so we can go ahead and start reading this and really dig into our writing lesson, okay? All right, have fun learning. See ya.